Are bandit beaters a waste of time? Well, if you don't know what a bandit beater is, basically what it is it's kind of like your typical RPG where you go around and you have your sometimes custom character and you get a quest and you beat this specific type of enemy over and over until your character has gotten strong enough to move on to the next quest and next set of enemies. And you rinse and repeat that same method until you get to max level. That's your typical bandit beater. This term is kind of thrown around a lot in the Roblox community. In fact, it's thrown around so much, sometimes with negative connotations, that when someone refers to a game as a bandit beater, people usually are turned off by the game. And I'm here to ask the question, well, are bandit beaters a waste of time? Is a game being a bandit beater necessarily bad? Well, you also have to ask the question, are games a waste of time? And, well, objectively, deep down, we all know your Fortnite Battle Royale isn't going to get put on your resume, right? It's not going to get you that $80,000 salary. But I also disagree with that point, because I think games are meant to be enjoyable. Although you're not technically doing anything productive, you are instilling joy and satisfaction within yourself. That's one of the reasons why I play video games. I get a sense of satisfaction and completement out of them. So then, are bandit beaters enjoyable? Okay, well, look at it like this. Bandit beaters are kind of like working out, right? You do the same action over and over and over, and eventually, over time, you see progress within yourself. And you're now able to do things that you weren't able to do. You know, progress, satisfaction. That's part of what completion is. That's what you get from a lot of video games. Whenever you beat that boss, whenever you get that secret item you've been grinding for, that's the point. Unlike working out, bandit beaters, you don't actually have to put any physical effort into it except for, spamming a couple buttons. And you get that sense of satisfaction a lot faster. The only difference is that you don't actually see anything in real life. But despite that benefit, the repetition of the same concept over and over and over does get boring. It gets old, especially when creators are using the same idea. GPO, for example, you can't say it's not a bandit beater. That's exactly what it is. Even at the late stage, even when you're max level, for the record, how long has it been since the last GPO update? Like 6 months? 9 months? You farm this boss over and over and over and over and over just to get a weapon that increases your damage by a minuscule amount so that you can then do what? Farm easier so you can have a better advantage in PvP? It gets old after a while, and I think GPO does it well, and I think the way Deepwoken has taken it, while it's so that it's better combining PvP and PvE, because even on a certain level, Deepwoken is also a bandit beater if you play it that way. Some people choose to play it purely as PvP, and I respect them for that. I've tried that myself. I'm not that good. But some people are, and some people are able to enjoy playing a game that way. And sometimes it just comes down to preference. One of the reasons why CC games are on the rise is because they almost don't involve any PvE at all. Like Shinden or Tyrone Shippuden, for example, those are Naruto-themed games that basically the idea is you go around, you do missions that are directly opposing another player, and whichever player is better at playing the game, they win the money and they win the experience. And the other player also gets some experience, but not nearly to the same amount, and there's also risk that comes with it. There's almost no PvE involved at all, and that's one of the reasons why I really like CC games, because the sense of satisfaction is a whole lot stronger. It's different when you're fighting a computer, right? An AI, and it has the same moveset, so you know exactly what you're going to do. You can know exactly what's going to happen. It gets boring. But when you're fighting other players, you don't know what's going to happen for sure. I mean, certain players have typical movesets, like early GPO, for example. I was absolutely dominating the competition, especially against Pika users, because all of them had the same kind of combo, kind of concept, kind of running type playstyle, and since I just had the timing down, I was able to perfect block everything. That's why you see some of my series, a Road to Yoru, while I was so easily able to predict moves and counter attacks, is because I was just gotten used to PvP, but it still instilled excitement within me because these are real people. And so the satisfaction is that much greater, and that's why I think Bandit beaters, while they're not, top of the line when it comes to gaming concepts, it's still bearable. It still can be fun. I was playing what was that game called? That new One Piece game, also a Bandit beater. Kind of reminded me of Steve's One Piece. Give me a second. One Piece game. I enjoyed playing that game, believe it or not. I think the animations were decent. It had nice sword skills, which is a instant +1 for me, right? And while it was a Bandit beater, I still enjoyed playing the game. But then there's also this section of people who just macro everything when it comes to Bandit beaters. So they're not even playing the game. They'll just macro this quest for 24 hours, and then they'll have max stats, and then what do you do then? What about all the other people who are sitting there manually grinding? It kind of takes away from a person's effort, and that's why some games are banning macroing. Obviously, exploiting is bannable, but macroing would also be bannable. I guess the real question here is, when does repetition become a problem? And I think that's up to the developers of the game. It's up to you to know when it's too much. GPO, for example. I haven't been super active on GPO. They even added Geppo for they added Geppo for everybody, so even if you had a sword style, you could use Geppo. And I played for a little bit, but then I got bored again. But when does repetition become a problem? And I think one of the reasons I had a problem with GPO is because, in my experience, my luck when it comes to gacha or anything chance-based is pretty bad, unless it's something that I'm not looking for. With no pity system or no guaranteed chances or anything, you don't know exactly how the game works, and you're trying to grind over and over and over for this specific item in the game, it gets boring, it gets hard to keep up with, and with GPO being a Bandit beater, the Bandit beater that it is, it's one of the reasons why I stopped playing it. I don't think Bandit beaters are necessarily bad, but you have to know when it's too much. Anyway, thank you for watching my little rant video. I wanted to try a little something new, though it's still kind of in the realms of what I do. Again, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you want to. It allows you to know when I upload more videos like this. Leave a comment, leave a suggestion, like the video if you liked it, and I'll see you in the next one.